Hello friends, myself Ashok Bagda from Dr. Subhash Technical Campus, and in today's lecture we are going to discuss about critical speed of shaft. But in this case we consider critical speed of shaft carrying a single rotor. So let us consider critical speed of shaft carrying a single rotor. Consider a vertical shaft having negligible inertia and carrying a single rotor as shown in figure. So let us consider a shaft carrying a single rotor as shown in figure. But here the shaft having negligible mass, so the shaft having negligible inertia. So we consider a shaft having negligible mass and it carry a single rotor as shown in figure. So in a static condition, this is a rotor in a static condition. Now when this rotor start to move, then this is a shaft in a rotating condition when rotor start to move. Here the O is the center, O is the center line on which a rotor is intersect. So O is the intersection point between rotor and axis of shaft. S is a geometric center of this rotor. So geometric center means it is a center of circle. So here the center of rotor is known as a geometric center. Capital G, so G is the center of gravity, or we can say that CG of the rotor. And here CG of rotor is displaced from its geometric center. So CG is away from the geometric center. So there is a various possibility in a component. So there is a manufacturing error, there may be a machining error, there may be assembly error, or sometimes there may be non-homogeneous material. So because of such kind of problem, the center of gravity of system is away from its geometric center. And here when the rotor is start to rotate, then what happened? Then at the point of CG, some centrifugal force is acting, and because of this centrifugal force, the shaft will start to rotate away from its neutral axis. So we can say that here y is a distance. So from its neutral axis, shaft is deflect from a y distance. So the CG of the rotor is total y plus. So the CG of the rotor is y plus e distance away from the axis of rotation. So when this rotor is start to rotate and the shaft will deflect in this direction, some force is oppose this, some force, that means it is a restoring force, it oppose this motion. So restoring force is because of the stiffness of shaft. So restoring force is K into Y. So let us consider the points notation. So O is the point of intersection of bearing center line with the rotor. That means it is the intersection point between the rotor and neutral axis of shaft. S is the geometric center of rotor. Capital G is equal to the center of gravity of rotor. Small m is the mass of rotor in kg. Small e is the eccentricity of the rotor. So eccentricity means it is the distance between CG of rotor and geometric center S in meter. Y is a deflection of geometric center S from the point O due to the centrifugal force. We know that here CG is away from its geometric center. So when we start to rotate our rotor, then a rotor will deflect. So CG of rotor is deflect through a y distance. Capital K is a transverse stiffness of shaft. So capital K is the stiffness of shaft. Omega is the angular speed of shaft in radian per second, and omega n is a natural frequency, or we can say the natural frequency of lateral or transverse vibration. So when shaft is rotating condition as shown in figure, there are two forces acting on the shaft. So here if we consider again this figure, shaft in a rotating condition, so one force is a centrifugal force acting in this direction, and another one is a restoring force acting in opposite direction to the centrifugal force. So when So when shaft is rotating condition, there are two forces acting on the shaft. First one is a centrifugal force. So we know that centrifugal force is m omega square into, we consider r, but here r is equal to small y plus e. So from the neutral axis to the, so y is, r is a distance between neutral axis to the CG. So here total distance is y plus e. So it is a r. So centrifugal force is equal to m omega square into y plus e in a radially outward direction. Restoring force is a stiffness into displacement or a deflection. So stiffness is capital K and deflection of shaft is y. So K into y. Now, and this force is acting inward direction through the points G. Now in equilibrium condition, the centrifugal force is equal to the restoring force. So we can write m omega square in bracket small y plus e bracket complete is equal to capital K into y. So if we expand this equation, then m omega square into y plus m omega square into e is equal to k into y. So we can again rewrite this equation ky minus m omega square y is equal to m omega square e. So if we take a y as a common, so we get y in bracket capital K minus m omega square into, so y in bracket capital K minus m omega square bracket complete is equal to m omega square e. So we get y is equal to m omega square e upon capital K minus m omega square. So again we can rewrite, so y is equal to, if we divide a numerator and then a denominator by a k, then we get y is equal to m omega square e divided by k upon 1 minus m omega square divided by k. Now again we rearrange this equation. So y is equal to omega square e divided by k by m upon 1 minus in a bracket omega square upon k by m brackets complete. So here we know that k by m is nothing but, so we know the equation of natural frequency omega n is equal to under root k by m. So k by m is equal to, we can put omega n square. So here y is equal to omega, so if we put here k by m is equal to omega n square, so here become omega square into e upon omega n square. So we can rewrite this omega upon omega n whole bracket square into e upon 1 minus omega upon omega n whole bracket square. From the equation, it is clear that as the angular speed of shaft omega increase, the reflection of y increase. It is clear. So when the speed of shaft increase, then the reflection will also increase. When omega become equal to the natural frequency, the reflection of shaft become infinite. That means when the frequency of rotation of shaft is become to the natural frequency of rotation, then there is a maximum infinite deflection of the shaft. Thus the speed at which the deflection of shaft tends to infinite is known as the critical speed of shaft. So in a simple way we can say that it is a speed at which the shaft having infinite deflection, then the speed is known as a critical speed. Therefore the critical speed of, or whirling speed of shaft is given by, so we know that the critical speed is nothing but it is a natural frequency or a natural speed. So omega c is equal to under root k by m. So omega c is equal to, we can rewrite this equation because here k is equal to force into force divided by delta and m is equal to, so here k is equal to force divided by delta, and if k is equal to, f is equal to, we can say that g mg, so cancel, so we get omega c is equal to under root g by delta in radian per second. So in a speed, in a critical speed, we can say that natural frequency, natural speed is equal to omega c upon 2 pi. So we get nc is equal to 1 upon 2 pi root g by delta in revolution per second. So here nc is a critical speed in rps, delta is a static deflection of shaft, and we get this equation static deflection y is equal to, sorry, here y is a dynamic deflection and delta is a static deflection. So small y is equal to, in a bracket omega upon omega c, because we replace omega n as a by omega c. So when omega n, so critical speed is equal to the natural frequency. So at this speed, shaft having maximum deflection. So omega upon omega c whole bracket square into E divided by 1 minus bracket omega upon omega c whole bracket square. Now we can see three condition. So here we have equation. So this equation, from this equation we can say that there are three conditions. First condition is when omega is less than omega c. When omega is less than omega c. So here if we see this equation, when omega is less than omega c, then this term will also become less than 1. So 1 minus less than 1, that means the value of y will become positive. So the value of y become positive. So what happened? The rotor rotates with heavy side outside. So heavy side of the rotor. This is the heavy side of the rotor. So heavy side of rotor rotates outside, and this condition is known as a heavy side rotor. So okay, so heavy side of the rotor remains outside of the rotation. In this case, so this case is not used in a practice, because the heavy side of the rotor will remain outside of the neutral axis. In a second case, when omega is greater than omega c, when omega is greater than omega c, then what happen? Then if from this equation, if omega is greater than omega c, then what happen? This the bracket, this value of this bracket is more than 1. So the numerator become minus. So the value of y is become minus. So the center of gravity of rotor is remain inside. Center of gravity of remain inside. So it will remain between geometric center and neutral axis, and this may also lead to the failure of shaft. And third condition, when omega is greater than or greater than, that means omega is very large than natural critical speed, then what happens? Then in this case there is a possibility to that CG will be remain on the neutral axis, or we can say that CG of the rotor is try to remain on the neutral axis of the shaft, and this condition is safe condition for the for example for the rotor, for the turbine in a Thank you.